Okie dokes. So like I said earlier, we'll finish about 5 minutes earlier today because she needs a Zoom. So let's get started. Come to sit, an easy cross-legged pose. A different place this time because the light is just better. And let's just bring our attention to our breath. It's been a bit of a mad week, I think, for a lot of us. Let's just ground and thankfully it's over. This weekend will bring a little bit more peace for those of us who work. Hopefully. Let's bring the attention to the tips of your nostrils. And allow that connection to go right down into the belly, where your belly rises and falls as you breathe in and out. As we continue, let's breathe into the belly, the ribs, and then the collarbones in our full yogic breath. Bring your hands into chin mudra for this. Forefinger and thumb together, rest of the fingers relaxed. Trying to even out the breath now, in for a count of 4 and out for a count of 4. And just to clarify, that doesn't need to be 4 seconds. It can be just whatever count is comfortable for you. Just make sure that in and out breaths are even. And then let's lengthen the exhale to a count of 6. And then to a count of 8 if you're comfortable with that, otherwise stay with 6. With the next exhale, let's pull the Mula Bandha up. That's the pelvic floor muscles. Pull in the Uddiyana Bandha minor, the muscles just below your belly button, on your waistband almost. Pull those in towards the spine and drop the chin to the chest for 5 Ujjayi breaths. Bring the chin back up to level plane. Keep the bottom 2 bandhas on as much as you can. And let's move into Kapalabhati breathing. So we want to just pump from the belly. So you need to have just a little bit of air in the belly when you start this to pump it out. And then just keep pumping. Make sure you don't inhale actively. The inhale will come automatically. So don't concentrate on the inhale. Just concentrate on pumping all the air out. Okay, so once you're done with one round, inhale, exhale, and then on the next inhale, start the next round. Take a recovery breath in between. Let's go for a round of 18, 24, and 30 in your own time. Inhale. When you're done, let's go in for another round of 5 Ujjayi breaths. Bring your chin back up to level plane and then let's come on to hands and knees. Go into our cat and cow. We all know how that's done. So starting from the base of the spine, let's try and go as slowly as possible for 5 rounds. Opening the heart at the top and then really pushing the mat away, pulling the pelvic floor muscles in and lower back towards you in the cat. Using your Hatha Bandha strongly here, press your fingers into the mat. Take the weight out of your wrist joint. Right? So see if you can move that weight from your wrist joint to your shoulders and the surrounding shoulder girdle muscles. Breathing out into the cat, breathing in into the heart. Try to move each vertebrae individually. When you're done, let's just take some circles. Just circling the hips above the knees. Go one way first, and then the other. Turn the palms in towards you, or the fingers rather. Place your wrists out, and then let's take those circles again. You might need to make those circles smaller, but we want to really stretch out the forearm and work the wrist joint through a different angle. And go the other. Bring that back. It's just going down into bird dog. So you all know how that works. So keep your wrists underneath your shoulders as much as you can and your knees below your hips. So you don't want to come too far forward, neither do you want to be too far back. Nice and balanced. Take the left foot back and squeeze the muscles all the way up to the waist and lift up. Straighten that back leg as much as you can. Really extending up. Coming back down. Let's go on the other side. Squeeze, float the leg up, and up. Try not to go up here. Stay down. Lifting your belly into the spine. Great. Coming back down. Going to our dog kneeling exercise now. Again, make sure your Hatha Bandha is nice and strong and lifting up. So you notice it doesn't matter how high you lift, you just don't want to lift up like this, bringing your weights. Just lift up. And on the other side. From there, let's take the leg out this way. Bring your foot in line with the knee. And from there, we're going to turn the foot in so that the razor's edge of your foot, the inside of your foot, is on the floor. From there, again, without lifting up the hips, want to keep the hips nice and level. Then bring this. And And then we're just going to rock back and forth. Just feel it on the inside and outside of your upper thigh. Just allowing the muscles to relax but work strong. And let's go to the other side. Get the knee in line with the foot. Drop the hip. So as soon as you do that, it tends to go up. Drop the hip. And then lift. If it doesn't lift too high, that's okay. Just make that effort. Strain the muscle. You shouldn't feel discouraged if you can't lift it up an inch or two or whatever. If you can lift it a centimeter, just do that. Come back to the center. Let's cross the legs and let's go over onto our backs. Legs into a tabletop. And we'll start with our dead bugs. So we want to come into this position and do bird dog on our backs pretty much. So opposite arm and leg down. And down. And down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. And come back to center. Take the arms down, bring the feet down, and then let's bring the feet together and really squeeze those inner thighs together. Really squeezing. So ankle bones are almost touching, your inner thighs are really squeezing as if you're trying to make pastas. Really squeeze. Should feel it's working really hard in your inner thighs, your groin. Those muscles need to be as strong as the muscles on the outside. Keep them squeezed as you lift the feet gently off the mat. And gently come down. From there, we're going to bring the right knee in, or actually start with the left knee. Bring the left knee in, push it away. But keep bringing it in. So you're pushing hard this way, but you're also pulling hard this way. So really feel that hip crease work going on there. If you like now, while you keep pressing, you can extend the upper leg. And then take the right hand, press the knee away from you to the side. But at the same time, you're pushing in, working those inner thigh muscles. Bring the leg down nice and bent. And let's bring the other leg in, right hand and push. Feel the resistance and the hip muscles work. Then maybe slowly extend the left leg. And then with the left hand, press in. And then Hatha. And from there, we will come into this half butterfly pose. So you don't want to bring your knee, ankles too far in. Keep them a little bit further out. Place your hands on the floor. And then just lift up. Pressing down with the raised edge of your feet. Soles of the feet together, lighten butterfly. And come down. Lift up. And down. Lift up. Down. Up. And down. Tuck the tail upwards. Down. From here, we'll just bring that left knee back in again. Pressing down with the right foot. Lift up and hold. And come down. Right leg comes in. Press down to the full left foot and lift up and hold. Roll over onto one side. And then let's adapt the bottom leg. This 10 of those on one side. Making sure you keep the foot flexed. And then let's adapt the top leg. Leading with the heel, guys. So watch this subtle movement. So your feet are flexed. And you first bring your heel up. So you lead like this. And not so much like this. Or lead like that. And lift up. So you might not get as much lift when you do it like that. But it's important that you really work those glute muscles at the back more than the hip muscles up here. And let's go on to the other side. And down. Feet nice and flexed. Try not to swing the hips. So if you're doing that, try and avoid that. Keep those hips stacked and stable. Just lifting the leg. It shouldn't move at all. And then let's adapt. So again, make that little swivel. So rotate your foot inwards. And then let's say, so this may seem all like a little boring, a little repetitive, guys, but so is brushing our teeth, but we do that every day. So let's adopt that kind of an attitude. It's something that we need to do, and you will notice that your poses improve as you keep doing these little activations, making sure you activate those little muscles at the core of your body, because we tend to do a lot of other exercises like weights or whatever that really work the bigger muscles, the external muscles, but we really want to go inwards here. And that's what the yoga practice is all about, traveling inwards, not just literally but metaphorically as well. So let's come up to stand and we'll go into our Bhoomi Namaskara. To see how the Bhoomi Namaskara feels now that we've done all those little activations as well. A few more that we usually do, concentrating on that kick. So let's try that in our Bhoomi Namaskara. So you all know it now, I'll just talk you through it. Bring the hands up, press down, take the shoulders away from the ears, bring the ribs in, belly into the spine, squeeze all the muscles in the hips and the thighs, just hug them on to the bone. You're not flexing so much as kind of backing your muscles onto the bone. Spread the weight evenly through both feet and evenly through the entire foot. So you're on the big toe, the little toe, as well as the heel as you begin to come down. Feel those glute muscles working as you come down. Once you're in the full squat, the muscles can relax. Straighten the back, open the chest. Make sure you're on both feet evenly. And don't skip the step of holding on to the edges of the mat. Open up. Relax the belly. And let's come into full Malasana where you're pressing into the thighs, inner thighs, with your elbows, pressing the inner thighs back in. From there, hands down, let's come into high heel squat. So try not to move your bum up. Just keep your bum at this level as you just move up with your calves. There. And then coming to this nice straight back again. Work through those toes. Those of us who have bunions, really important to work through this. Relax the muscles in your hips, let your bum hang down. You won't see it physically, but you'll feel it. And coming out with the hands and in with the knees. Virasana prayer. Again, another important pose to stretch out the soles of those feet. Turn the ankles outwards so that directly above the second toe, the heels rather. And then let's come into Virasana. Stretching the front side of the ankle this time, the front of the foot, tuck the tail, and let's just sit in between our heels. Try and relax the front of the hips. So here, let's try and relax those. Feel the work in your knees, that's okay. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Coming back up. Virasana prayer. Pushing back, high heel squat. Back down now, into the squat, breaststroke, pull hands back, and walk back. On your fingertips if you can, on your fists if you can't. Opening those shoulders and chest, dropping the bar, pressing down with the feet, but you're not doing anything with your hips. And then coming down, sit. Squeeze the knees together, squeeze the feet together, lift up. Straighten the leg, and then lift up again with your bum, and then come into Dandasana. Sitting on the front of those sit bones and not leaning back. Really lifting up through the lower back, making sure your spine is nice and straight. If this is difficult for you, just bend the knees a little, straighten the spine a little more. From there, bring your left leg in. Bring it in, hug it. And really lift up your spine. So again, you don't want to be here. You want to place that belly onto the thigh and then lift to 5 single leg lifts. Lift up and let's go 5 times to the side. Again, you're not moving your hips. You're not swinging at all. Bring that right knee in next time and 5 times on the other side. Again, belly onto the thighs. You're not hunched. Sitting up nice and straight. That may mean you lift less, but that's okay. And then off to the side. Stretch back out into Dandasana. Maybe you can point the toes here. Press down into the mat next to your knees. Open the chest and see if you can lift both legs off the mat very slightly. Pull the belly into the spine and lift. And down. That's a bit tough because you're compressing in, but that's where we have to try and go if you want to lift up into our head stance. So from there, we're going to bring the knees back in, feet down, hook sitting, hands back, and then let's do some 90-90 rolls. Facing forward with the chest, just moving the hips. You want to keep your shoulders and chest looking forward, but the rest of you will roll. And coming back into your hook sitting, take the hands back, lift up again into this hook sitting, adjust your feet just a little wider than hip width, opening the chest, dropping the bum between the wrists, and then scooting forward, coming into that Malasana. So hope you found Malasana a little bit more accessible. Won't be perfect, of course, but if it was better than you felt it last time, that's all that's important. Feet facing as straightforward as possible, hands next to the feet, and then we come up. Squeeze the muscles onto the bones again. Coming to parallel, straight back. And straight back as you lift up. Press into the floor with the feet and lift up. Hands face outwards and down. Nice work, guys. Come to the top of the mat. It's going for Surya Namaskara. Not about Surya around recently, but maybe if we do it on the days, it will come back. Shoulders nice and back. And we'll open up the palms from the shoulders. Inhale up. Back of the palms touch. Exhale, folding forward, keeping the thumb and the heels at the same level. Trying not to shift back this way. Inhale up. Hold that for a second. Exhale, full. Pressing down to the feet. Palms to the floor, right leg up. And let's lift up into crescent lunge. Back down, left leg back. Down facing dog. Paddle your feet up, it's your first dog, so you've been flexing the hamstrings all this time, so let's walk them out. Just really open up the back of that leg. Move your neck from side to side maybe. Find the room between your shoulders. and roll forward into a plank, knees down. Coming to the cow back first, chest and chin, and slide into cobra. Pressing down to the feet. Coming back up, push back. Downward facing. Right leg back up to the ceiling, step it forward. Left knee down, press on plank. And back down, left leg forward. Up, forward, forward. Pull forward, forward. Inhale all the way up. Back to the palms, touch, exhale, forward. Inhale up. Move from the shoulders. Forward. Up. Lift the thighs. Forward. Palms to the floor, left knee down. Present now. One down. Down dog. Onto the tiptoes, roll forward. Knees down. Chest and chin down. Slide into cobra. Elbows towards each other, shoulders away from the ears. Pushing back. Down dog. Left leg up. Stepping forward. And present lunge. Come back down. Right leg. Up, forward, forward. Pull forward, forward. Inhale all the way up. Back to the palms, touch, exhale up. Inhale. Back to the palms, touch, exhale, forward, forward. Inhale up. Exhale, forward. Palms to the floor, right like that. Present lunge. Down. Left leg back. Down dog. Lifting the thighs up. Trying to bring those heels down to the floor by relaxing the back of your leg. Lifting up tiptoes. Knees down. Chest and chin, or coming to a half chaturanga where you tuck the tail and come down fully onto the floor. Present lunge. Cobra. Heels together, pressing the feet into the mat. Lifting out. Downward facing dog. Rolling forward again into a plank. Taking a downward facing dog. Rolling forward again. Onto the tiptoes, roll forward. Hold the plank. And back again. Downward facing. Right leg up to the ceiling, step it forward. Runner's lunge. Hand to the midline, open into a twist. Coming back down, strong back leg, high lunge. Come back, left leg forward, up forward, forward, pull forward, touch. Exhale that. Inhale up. Back to the palms touch. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale up. Let's see if you can go a little deep. Lift up the thighs. Shoulders back. Pull forward, pull. Palms to the floor, left leg back. Crescent lunge. Then holding a block as you bring your hands up, working through those shoulders, right leg back. Finding the room in between the shoulder blades. Lifting up. Knees down. Tuck the tail this time. Half chaturanga. Lifting up into cobra. Pushing back. Downward facing dog. Lifting back up onto the tiptoes. Moving forward. Stop when your shoulders and wrists come into line. And then push back. Giving those heels back as you come forward again. Shoulders into the sockets. And back. One more time. Work through the feet, guys. Left leg up. Stepping it forward. Right hand to the midline. And open into the twist. Coming back down. Let's step forward. Oh, sorry. Back. Sorry guys, missed the high crescent lunge. And coming back down. Right leg forward. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Inhale all the way up. Right leg palms touch. And down. Inhale up. Back to the palms touch. Exhale forward, forward. Inhale up. Exhale through. Palms to the floor, roll to the side. Downward facing dog. Hold this downward facing dog for 3 breaths, focusing on the external rotation of the shoulders. Take your shoulders away from the ears. Let your neck hang nice and free. Push that tailbone up to the side. Lengthening the front of your body from hips to shoulders. And let's roll forward into a plank. Bring the knees down and bring the elbows down simultaneously. Good. From there, you know where we're going. And going to clasp hands, thumbnails to touch. So make sure you check your base, guys. Elbows directly beneath the shoulders. So start them there, and then you're going to squeeze in. So the skin of your forearms, we've all got that skin there that moves. Bring that in. So you want to turn that forearm inwards. Pressing down with the wrist. So you really want to press down to get the power. From there, bring the feet together, knees together. Drop the head between the biceps. Press the feet down like you did in Vinyasa prep. And come up. Like you're in a high heel squat, that's how your feet should be. Taking the work into the hips where we've done so much strengthening already. Shoulders away from the ears. pressing down and in, and then walk forward. Hold that dolphin for 3 breaths. Highest possible tippy toes. And down. So we change the clasp of the hand this time. So remember which finger is on top or which little finger is in, and change that around. Nothing else moves. Squeezing those elbows in. Push the wrists down again. And in that high heel squat, we're going to come into a downward facing dog with the feet. And then those of you who can, will go into dolphin 2. The rest will hold dolphin 1 for another 3 breaths. So dolphin 2. And easy peasy lemon squeeze. Nice one. And let's take hands back and bring the head down. Lengthen the spine. Shoulders relax down to the floor. Slowly slide the hands forward on the backs of the hands. Turn them over and slide them forward. Again, lengthening that back, nice straight back. Lifting up, downward facing dog. Hold this downward facing dog for 3 breaths. And then let's take the right leg up to the ceiling, stepping it forward into a runner's lunge. From that runner's lunge, bring your back foot, the left foot forward just a little bit until you can ground the heel. So it's as far back as you can ground the heel. So if it's here, you can't ground the heel. Bring it as far forward as you can to ground that heel. As you keep it grounded, let's come up into warrior number 1. Hips are facing forward. Back heel is as grounded as possible, taking as big a bend as you can in your front leg. Good. From there, bring the hands down again, and we'll bring that foot even further forward. Keeping the hands down, and from here, lift up that heel, and lift up the hands, and extend into warrior 3. From warrior 3, just going to swivel, lift up that knee, high as it will go, working those hip flexors, hips are level, and straighten the leg. Come back, warrior 3 again, bending that front leg very slightly, coming back down, hands down, runner's lunge. Coming back. So take that sequence slowly, guys. We want to try and maintain balance through the full body as we go to that 1-leg routine. Hold. Roll forward into a plank. Take a vinyasa of your choice. Knees just chin or half chaturanga, full chaturanga. And then left leg comes up. Stepping it forward. Runner's lunge first. And then just bring your foot only as far forward as you need to bring the heel down. So some of you that might be here, others it might be here. It's fine. Bend that front leg as much as possible as you come up into warrior 2 or warrior 1 on the other side. Or pressing down to the front foot and the back. Hips are nice and square to the front of the leg. Coming back down. Really brace nicely to that front leg. Full foot on the floor. Bring the back foot forward. Heel into the bum. Really work both legs. Work through the hips there. All those bum muscles need to fire. Then coming up and extending into warrior 3. Straightening that front leg as much as you can. Coming up, swiveling through, bringing that front leg up, lifting up through the hips as much as you can. Straightening that front leg. Coming back down, bending the leg, and let's go through into a warrior 3. Again, working strong through the core. And bring the hands down, legs down, runner's lunge, down dog. Roll into a plank. Take your vinyasa. And then knees wide, coming to a child pose. Active child pose, pressing forward and down, bum to the heels, lengthening the front body, tucking the tail up towards the ceiling, forehead to the floor if it gets there. Looking up, coming back up, bring knees together, and we'll come into a downward facing dog. Lifting up the thighs, lifting up the kneecaps, tuck the tail up towards the ceiling. Pushing the mat away from you, turning the shoulders out. Downward dog is a very active pose. Let's not get used to hanging in the joints. Walking the feet forward. Coming into a forward bend. Let's hold this forward bend. Lift the kneecaps up again. Try to bring your bum over your heels. You know that's happened when your
toes are taking as much weight or slightly more weight than your heels. Dangling. As you dangle, dangle over to the right. And then as an elephant stretching extra, move to the left. Come back to the center. Bend the knees slightly as you ragdoll your way up. Hands hanging limp. Neck hanging limp. Coming up to the vertebrae. And lifting up the head last. Good. From here, just going to widen the feet slightly, more than 8 feet apart, maybe come to the edges of your mat. And from there, we're going to hinge from the heel. So keeping the bum above your heels, not going too far back like that. Just going to tilt forward. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Coming back, down with a nice straight back. So those of you who find straight back and straight knees difficult, compromise at the knees. That's okay. Keep the back nice and straight. Bring the right hand onto the midline. And let's open up towards the left, bending that right knee slightly. Feel the work on your outer hamstring and side of the hip. Coming back to center, left hand on the midline, bend the left knee slightly, straighten the right leg as you look up. Feel the work on the outside of your right hip, this area, and the hamstring, the outer hamstring. And coming back down, palms to the floor. Let's take both legs back. Bending here and moving forward. Knees to the floor. And then we're going to tuck the tail and go into a half chaturanga. Once you're on the floor, here. Taking those elbows together into the side body and shoulders back. Just hold for as long as you can before you feel the need to collapse down. Tucking the tail, everything above the knees is working, and then gently come back. Nice work, guys. So we're going to lift up here and just go into a wide-legged forward fold. So I like to go off the mat with my bum and just open up so my heels on the bum and not slipping off. Okay, but if you want to be fully on the mat and you can, that's fine. 90 degrees of an angle minimum between the legs. Good. From here, we're going to just walk forward, again lifting up through the chest, opening the chest, opening those elbows if you can, and just working through the thighs. From there, really lift up through the lower back. Stay here if that's all you can do. It's perfectly okay. Don't feel compelled to do anything further. If you're sinking in your tailbone, you feel that, lift up. Move over to the right. Hands on either side of the knees. Keeping a nice straight back. and walking forward and grabbing onto your shin, your ankle, or if you can, your foot, keeping the back nice and straight, belly onto the thighs before you drop your head. Coming back out, let's come back to the center, turn around, keeping these hips square but turning the chest this way. Lifting up through this thigh muscle here, and then coming forward gently, making sure you don't compromise that straight back as you come down and hold the same place you held on the other side. Feel the work from your lower back right up to your shoulders. And then gently coming. Let's turn back. Side. We'll go into our full Uttanasana. Bring the hands just about arm's length behind your bum. Pressing the heels strongly into the mat. Lift up those quadricep muscles. You really want to work strongly in and around the kneecaps and the rest of the thigh. Shoulders back, open the chest. Really open the chest, puff it out. Squeezing the elbows towards each other. Imagine you're holding something in between your elbows, and if you move your elbows, it will fall out. Lengthen the spine, really stretch it out as you lift up into Uttanasana, look towards your toes. Relax the front body, push through the bum, lift up a little bit more. From there, take the head back towards forward, lift up further. Heels back up, toes rather, bum down. Gently come forward before you lift your head up. Good. From there, come into Hatha Konasana. Want to bring our feet parallel to each other. Just bring soles of our feet together. Place the hands underneath and tip the toes forward and allowing our knees rather, come from there to there. Relax through the inner thighs. The inner thighs you worked so hard a little earlier, relax those now. As you open the chest, squeeze the bum muscles to bring those knees further towards the floor. Working strongly through the drum, that's what's going to enable you to relax the inner thighs. Lifting up through the chest. Good. Now bring the feet down. And we're going to open up the soles of the feet like a book. I think all of you are old enough to have read books rather than read things on the phone, so you know how that works. So open up and then press the elbows into the inner thighs as you see curve your spine. Finding a little bit more depth in the pose. Bringing your head towards those open feet. Shoulders back, lengthening, finding the space between each vertebrae. Breathe and relax. Good. From there, just going to come onto our backs now. So come into that C curve and come down, keeping your heels on the floor. And we'll take the Merudandasana twist. So take that left foot, place it on the fleshy part of the right thigh. And we're going to just swivel forward towards the left. Should have told you to move to the right a little. And then bring those toes onto the mat. Your heel is touching your thigh. Just press strongly down through the toes. Take the left hand up to a T. And let's gently coax that knee down to the floor. You're not pulling. A very gentle twist. Allowing your upper body to relax into the twist and the knee to relax downwards through the opening of your hips. Relaxing those shoulders, lengthening the neck. Try to keep the heel and the thigh connected and the toes connected to the floor. That's important, not how far your knee comes down. And then gently rolling over, moving on to the other side of the mat and taking your right leg onto the floor, swiveling the hips and opening. One side will always feel a little different to the other side. Perfectly normal. Just bring your awareness to what those differences might be and see how you can make a few lifestyle adjustments to change. This pose works on your ankle mobility as well. Stretching the outside of your calf, your soleus muscle. And slowly coming back onto your back. From here, we're going to go into a bridge. So bring your feet in. Those of you who feel you have weak hamstrings, you can take the feet a little further forward. That's fine. But otherwise, you can bring it back as close as you need to towards the bum. But I find it may be more effective to keep it kind of midway. So feet are in the same line as your hips. Pressing down strongly through both feet. So not just the heels, you're pressing through the full foot. Grabbing onto the side of the mat, tucking the tail, opening the chest, and coming up into that bridge pose. opening through the chest, pressing down strongly through both feet as you squeeze the knees in towards each other. Open the chest nice and wide, lengthening the back of the neck, tucking the tail up. And coming down. Good. From there, you can walk a little further forward on your mat. Those of you who have Urdhva Dhanurasana in your practice will take that now. Those of you who don't have Urdhva Dhanurasana in your practice, bring your feet together, knees together, and we'll take another bridge pose. Nice and long. Those of you who do Urdhva Dhanurasana, bring your hands up, palms facing back, face the palms forward, and bring them down in a Y shape. Then let's bring the shoulders underneath, the palms underneath the shoulders, facing nicely forward, elbows in towards each other as if you're holding something. Between the elbows, tuck the tail, lengthen the neck, and then on the inhale, we'll push up. Pressing down into the mat with the feet, let the head hang. Lift the head. And let's come back down. Bring the knees into the chest. Hug yourself into your knees. Roll side to side, forward and back. And then let's go into a bit of shoulder stand. So those of you who are not friends of the full shoulder stand practice will just go up like this, taking the knees into the chest and just lift up and hold for as long as you can. Those of you who can do a shoulder stand, maybe bring your knees to 40, bring your feet to 45, lift up, and then take your hands onto the back and lift up. And stay there for about 5 to 10 breaths before you come down in the same way. Those of you who have done shoulder stand, full shoulder stand practice with Nikki, we'll go into Halasana and then come up into the shoulders. Okay, so if you need to place a block underneath your hips and just hold your legs up, if you want to lean your legs against the wall, please feel free to go off your mat and do that and come back for Shavasana. If you did go into shoulder stand, then just take a gentle fish pose. If you can't do this version, straighten the legs, bring the elbows back, and just open the chest as you drop your head down. Coming up gently, we're going to your Shavasana, bringing your body fully onto the mat, heels to the corners of the mat, and then coming down, opening the palms out, and coming in to your Shavasana. Lengthening the neck, relaxing the shoulders down, and flopping the feet onto the side, taking the tailbone as far as you can towards the hips.
Gently bring some movement back to your fingers and your toes, your hands and your feet, and your hips and shoulders. Roll your neck from side to side. Open up the palms and take your hands above your head. Stretch out like you've just dived into a swimming pool, and then roll over onto the right side. Use your left hand to push yourselves up to sit. Coming to an easy cross-legged pose. And let's just take 5 Ujjayi breaths, pulling up the pelvic floor. Dropping the chin to the chest. Uddiyana Bandha in. Lift the head and bring the palms together in front of the chest. Let's take one Om to close the practice. Inhale. Om. I honor the place within you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place within you which is of light, of love, of truth, and of peace. And you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me. We are one. Namaste. Thank you guys. Hope you have a good weekend and a better week ahead. I'm going to rush off because Shibi needs to Zoom. But thanks. See y'all on Monday. I'll put the recording up. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Thanks, bye.